Chapter 5, Deductions for and from AGI. Learning Objective 5.5. As you remember, we're skipping 5.4. 5.5. Describe other adjustments for adjusted gross income. Think back to Chapter 1 and the income tax formula that we discussed. As a reminder, the income tax formula is gross income minus deductions for AGI, also called above-the-line deductions, gives you a calculation for adjusted gross income, AGI. From AGI, you subtract the greater of either itemized deductions, as shown on Schedule A, or the standard deduction. You also subtract the qualified business income deduction if the taxpayer qualifies. You then arrive at taxable income. This taxable income, along with the filing status, is what you use to figure the tax rate, using the appropriate tax tables or rate schedules. This calculation gives you gross tax liability. This tells you how much the taxpayer or taxpayers should have paid in taxes throughout the year. Subtract any tax credits and prepayments, including withholdings from paychecks, to arrive at whether the taxpayer has to pay taxes or is due a refund. So in this learning objective, we're going to be discussing other deductions for AGI, above the line deductions. Two big ones to discuss are educator expenses and unreimbursed business expenses. Eligible educators may deduct up to $250 per year for unreimbursed costs of classroom materials. Again, this is a deduction for AGI and above the line deduction. The deduction is limited to K-12 educators, instructors, counselors, principals, or aides who work at least 900 hours a year. We all know teachers, I'm sure, that buy supplies for their classroom because they're not given enough for the year. So this $250 is they probably spent more than that, but it's limited to $250. And as you see, K-12 educators are the only ones covered. Therefore, even though I am an instructor, I am not an eligible educator because I do not teach K through 12. If both spouses are qualified educators and they're married, filing joint, then they may take $500 of a deduction. Unreimbursed employee costs are no longer deductible as an itemized deduction. With the TCJA, there were several itemized deductions that were done away with, and this is one of them. However, a deduction for AGI is available for the following persons: performing artists that meet specific qualifications as listed in the book, National Guard or Reserve members traveling more than 100 miles away from home in connection with the reserves, and fee-based state and local government officials. So take a look at these in your book on page 517 for further explanation. Moving expenses. In the past, the tax law provided a deduction for moving expenses to help relieve taxpayers of a portion of the financial burden of moving from one job location to another. The TCJA repealed the deduction for moving expenses for all taxpayers except members of the armed forces on active duty whose move is pursuant to a military order and is incident to a permanent change of station.